Look from the book, presented by TopSport.
Great to catch up with Tristan from TopSport. And Tristan, I'll tell you what, I was half in the fetal position in the commentary or the broadcast box at the Valley at halftime last week. We hadn't had a favourite roll in. In fact, we'd had a number of roughies hit the board. It must have been a bit of a fill-up for you guys.
Yeah, certainly early in the day, we were very much in control of proceedings. And, we were very happy crew in the office there for probably the first half of the day. Then the punters fought back a little bit over the quaddie legs, and obviously Animo in Sydney was very well supported in the big race there as well. So the punters got a bit back, but then we finished off okay. But from our perspective, we also had 8 out of 8 favourites cover the line on Saturday, which caused a lot of unease with all the multi.
Cue the violins. Yeah. I'm feeling bad for you, mate. Of course, even Sam got the money in the last at Moonee Valley just to cap the day off.
What about, I was on Zakat.
So was I. The king of the king of Nature Strip. The horse that knocked off Nature Strip twice won the last at the Valley at 25. Work that one out.
I see some of the market moves, Tristan, into the future markets based on Animo on the weekend. You guys are dead set dreaming, aren't you?
We're always dreaming, but yeah, there certainly has been a few different moves, and it was a funny old race.
Is it just free money? Are those future markets just free money for you guys? Like you just put whatever odds and people just take them, or?
You got a few sharps out there that know what they're doing. They can predict. I think from our end, what it is punters try to find a bit of value in those early markets and come for some wide runners, and hopefully they start a bit shorter and can make a bit of a book come race day. But yeah, it's always a bit tricky. But if you can put those favourites in multis, you're normally pretty happy from our side.
Just before we head into the races, Tristan, it's AFL finals. I know the NRL's got another week to go, but with the down to the last 8 teams now, how does your market look, and what's your greatest exposure?
Yeah, well, thank Christ we got rid of those garbage games at the back end of the season. So we're moving into the good games, and it's going to be a cracking run home, because with the Demons having that impressive win, which I'm sure you've heard all about this morning, they've firmed up into second favourites. They're $3.20 because that win on Thursday night last week was massive.
Who's favourite, Chris?
His favourite?
The handbag's a favourite.
And then Swanee's $6. So that's going to be a massive game between the Demons and the Swans. I think whoever wins that is going to firm up into probably equal favourite with the Cats, I feel. Then the Pies $9. Richmond are probably that danger side at 11. Freo 17, then 31 about the Lions and the Bulldogs.
I just can't turf. I've never known a final series, Matt. You're Melbourne as well. I'm not enjoying it. It's just too
nerve-wracking.
Even started. I just can't do it.
Hang on a second.
I just can't do it. I'm nervous already.
No.
It's just unpleasant.
Yeah, it is, because you're exposed to playing at the MCG, and as opposed to being mollycoddled at the Cattery on a weekly basis. What about the NRL? I tried to get a push for the Storm, who've resurrected their season a bit, but people just tell me that the Panthers are just nearly morals.
Yeah, well, I probably tend to agree with that, but it only takes a couple of injuries and that can change things. But if you're a Storm fan, tune in on Friday night. I think this game is going to be close to the match of the season between the Storm and the Roosters. If the Storm can continue their dominance against the Roosters, who won about 8 straight, I think that maybe they're going to be a threat over the finals. But if they lose, then even their top 4 spot comes into a bit of jeopardy, because they've got a tough game next week against the Eels too. So I reckon Friday night, if you're a footy fan, tune into that, because it is going to be a cracker, and that'll give us a feel for where both of those sit and where either of them can challenge the Panthers, because the Panthers just look a class above right at the moment.
Let's straighten up, get back to what we're focusing on, which is, of course, horse racing. Group 1 action back at Caulfield this Saturday with the Memsie Stakes. Where've the big early money gone? I know passive aggressive is one that's really tightened up in early betting.
Yeah, it's been the best back by some margin. It's been $2.80 into $2.40, and we've laid it at a couple of price points. We also laid it pre-post at $3 as well. So it's been significantly backed. And, at that price as well, it takes a bit to move those markets. So it's been the best backed by some margin in what looks a pretty good race too. All
right, let's get on to the lay. Now, warning has been heeded, and last week's lay was scratched.
Yes.
So that's saved.
So he's keeping up his impeccable record.
Yeah. And obviously trainers tuning in. Who are we taking on this week, Tristan?
I'm going to the McNeil Stakes, and I'm taking on the favourite in that race, number 12, Af Cabin. It's obviously been impressive, stepping up in class immensely. Obviously, very impressive their last win, but I just feel it's a really good field. From my end, it's probably unders. I thought it maybe should be around about the 450 mark sort of thing. So at 310, we're certainly happy to take it on.
My gut feeling, it may end up with a 4 in front of its price there. And I can see why, Tristan. I mean, it's coming back from the 14 to the 12 and inside draw and so forth. And I think it's there for the Caulfield experience myself. But I still think it's probably the best horse in the race.
So that's it. Punters can put a pen through aft cabin.
Put a pen through.
At least a pencil. A pencil through.
I think it's aft cabin.
Aft?
Well, it's on a boat. Aft is the rear of aft, and it's by a stern.
Please move on, Matt.
Don't mean to sort of edumacate you.
Okay, so from one thing that continually wins to something that doesn't win often, let's get into the good 3 multi.
I think it was...
Turfy, what happened to your leg last week?
It ran a fantastic race, but it ran third, did it?
It's your bet.
The thing in the first? The ran Bistro, not Varvia.
Yeah,
who
ran
had
the old age, wrong name, doesn't remember what happened.
It was the same stable, same colours.
Okay, that makes
it had to come from last on a track where you couldn't come from last.
I think is what I'm trying to say, Matt, is it lost.
She got beat. Well, when we did it, I think, I should do this the place. But
we discussed it. We even put a place multi up, but old mate Paul's leg cost us the place.
I didn't like that. Look, I'm going to go for Zambogini, the place, in that very same race, the McNeil. Unbeaten horse at the moment. He's jumped out well in preparation. B. Mellum, Matt Laurie going good. The place, Zambogini.
Paul?
I'm going to be brave today too. Brave.
Like a pea, you are.
Passive aggressive. I think I'm really excited.
That's brave, is it?
Good call. Good call.
I'm really excited to watch her run. Generational horse potentially. We'll see.
Generational horse. Jeez,
you're in the racing media.
Huge statement. I'm going with Lunar Flare in the last.
Jeez.
The place. Sorry, the place.
The place. White with
about
brown,
$10 the win.
White with brown circles are the colours of Lunar Flare.
Correct. She should have
Can you tell me a
closer,
famous Australian racehorse that raced in those colours? A horse that won a derby and then 7 days later won a George Adams, which is the Cantala. It used to be known as the George Adams.
Let's make that a rhetorical question.
Won the derby on the Saturday, 7 days later won a George Adams. Taj Rossi. One of the absolute stars.
Of course, has a race named after it at Flemington. Tristan, what are we looking at?
Yeah, we are looking at a decent price of $12.60 about Zambogini to place, passive aggressive to win. That's race 5, race 7, and then in the last Lunar Flare to place. So $12.60 about that, and yeah, hopefully we'll pop up the Pirate Multi as well to give punters another crack if they think 2 out of the 3 legs will win too. So
cannot lose. It cannot lose. Group 1 racing returns.
Can we just try a week where you don't say that and see if that's what
you
are in the multi? Tristan, thank you very much. Of course, punters, head to topsport.com.au this weekend. Group 1 action, you'll be taking big limits, I would have thought.
Yeah, we are. Well, we've got the Memsey and we've got the Group 1, so we're already betting. And I reckon the Memsey looks a lottery. It looks a really tough race. You've got different form lines, a lot of horses first up. But for just punters out there wanting a little bit of a tip, we bet to win 10 grand from now on all the Group 1 races. And then in that last 25 minutes, once the official price is open, we bet everyone to win 25 grand. So that's our minimum bet limit once the price is open. And it's a really good yardstick that betting the big move from 20 to 25 minutes as the pros seem to wait until that 25-minute period to step in. And whatever horse firms in that 5-minute window after the price is open is normally very, very hard to beat.
So, Turfy, that's about what you've got in your ashtray.
That's great. That's great insights.
Thank you, Trist. That's I'm going to keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. Well, Tristan, good luck for the weekend. Look forward to chatting next week.
Thanks, guys. Speak then.
A good 3 with Dr Turf, Matt Welsh and Paul Tatnell.